Well, here's a rare opportunity to spend a day on the Dakar. No, it's not a competition. Today we're going to ride along with Steve LaRosa, courtesy of his helmet cam, and the US rider will show us what it's like.
Thank you.
Packed with fuel, packed with water, and ready to get underway. All the riders must carry at least 5 litres of drinking water aboard the bike, as well as their fuel. So it's a pretty heavy machine at the beginning, particularly of a long stage.
Start at day 9. Merci.
Mastering the road book isn't all, you've got to master the language as well. That's the view heading out of Dakar into the desert and the dust. Francisco Arredondo is one of the many fallers on the slippery stages. Privateers like LaRosa, it's not about speed. There's Robbie in the Hummer, you can hear the Sentinel beeping. And on these fast tracks, it's very difficult for the riders to get out of the way. With all the stones around, even the trucks can pick up a puncture, so these guys have to be doubly careful. Just look at it, it's like a minefield for bike tyres. Freddie Loix had a heavy impact in his buggy. Didn't look entirely tidy. Just look at the speed differential. And then the dust cloud that the riders have to deal with, almost down to walking pace. Problems for Eric Vigouroux, his Chevy Pro truck came to a grinding halt during the stage. And he wasn't the only one. Robbie Gordon, who we saw speeding past early on, incredibly ran out of gas on the stage and had to beg, borrow, and, well, not steal some from some passing bikers. It could only happen on the Dakar, and it's a daily occurrence for all sorts of competitors. It wasn't only Gordon who ran out. Just look at this poor guy, Pablo Toral. Bikers say that if you want to reach Dakar, you have to be prepared to crawl over broken glass to get there. And some days it feels like that would be the easy option.
C'est bon!
C'est bon.
Gasoline aquí ya.
We've got gas here. Indeed they have. And for the bikes, the passage controls are a vital refueling point. A bike that could carry enough fuel for a 500 plus kilometre stage would simply be unrideable. The arduous labour that doesn't really often seem to come to the factory mechanics is certainly part of the job for the privateers. Then there's the dunes. Even the best, even the multiple winners can get stuck in this stuff. And it's all about momentum and experience. Picking your line, choosing when to stop, and especially when not to. If you dig in, then you do have to dig in. Robbie Gordon's Hummer using its onboard jacking system, so they can get the plates under the tyres for a little bit of grip. And Martin Freinademetz, the Austrian former world snowboard champion, is riding on the bikes, enjoying filming.
Very nice.
He stops every so often on his ride to just take some pictures. Doesn't matter matter whether you're a NASCAR star or a first-timer on the bikes, the spirit is the same. Get stuck in, get yourself out. You can't help everybody, but just occasionally, it's good to be a good Samaritan. And this is Steve LaRosa's good deed for the day. With a rider falling right in front of him, he stops to help.
You alright?
And always the Sentinel. That was one of Hans Stacey's man team blasting past in the trucks. And in the softest sand, it does look a bit like a car park occasionally. No matter what the machinery, and quite often what the experience, the result is the same. You'd think by following the tracks you might be safe, but it quite often leads you into somebody else's hole. Jean-Jacques Ratet stopping just on the crest to check that it was safe to go down the other side. And that's where he rested. And our T2 leader, Yun Mitsuhashi, we saw him backing up to try and get up this dune. He slid along the side of it, and he's digging out. These guys are stopped on a rock, and the engine in the front axle is stranded on it. So we're going to have to lift the car now to try not to break the engine. But it should be okay. Not much in the way of clearance there, was there? Tony van Daen's had a few exciting moments on this Dakar. And the truck here playing Good Samaritan to everybody concerned. With a little help from your friends. Doesn't often happen at Le Mans, but sports car racer Paul Belmondo enjoys endurance events. Found himself stuck deep. And there was good company in the truck category as well. And when one of those gets stuck, no amount of manpower is going to dig it out. What you need is, yeah, you guessed it, a truck. And a bit of a run-up.
Can you give me one tire? Yes, I have one tire, yes.
Hiroshi Masuoka, the man who's been plagued by punctures, begging a spare from his teammate Nani Roma. Masuoka, no question, is the Mitsubishi's team's ace tyre changing expert, certainly for this Dakar. And as the tyre swapping carries on, Nani Roma's trying to get himself out of the fesh. This is Frenchman Alain Delony. He too is alone without service, and he says it's been a little difficult. I've really been struggling right from the start. I think I'm last in the overall standings, and I'm about 60 hours behind the leader. So I like cars, but not when they're close. I've already had a few close calls. They'll stop here and put their sand plates down. They'll throw a lot of sand and dust on me and my bike. Anyway, this is my last chance. I've got to find the problem on this bike and fix it, or this is where it ends for me. I'm really fed up. But there is still a sign of life. Yeah, I don't know if it's just drawing its last breath. I'm really starting to have had enough of this. I'm very patient, but sometimes it's just too much, too crazy.
Я что, Суджуту звоним, да?
Sometimes it pays to have a good vantage point to see who's around and what's about. Sometimes on foot is about the safest way there is. Here's the Swede Annie Seal. Still going. She's had adventures already on this Dakar. She's not giving up yet.
You must not film this because I'm going there.
Well, we've got plenty of desert to choose from. Antoine Morel came very close indeed then.
C'est bien cette Kamaz qui était devant, donc lui il doit avancer aussi.
Here's Paul Belmondo, the Kamaz. He said he's still ahead of us, he's going really quick. He's got the Sentinel on. The Kamaz is looking for somewhere to pull over, and away they go. Come on then. Now we've got the Shinozuka car a minute in front of us. And still for the bikes, the stage goes on. No time really to enjoy the awesome Elephant Rock. There's hundreds of kilometres of desert still to go.
Le Norbert il fait quoi là? Allez, je relève.
Now that's a neat trick if you can manage it. Pedro Bianchi Prata. It's a big moment. The tyre's completely destroyed, there's not even mousse left. All he's got is the rim. It's going to be a long, long trip. Crawling over broken glass, that's got to be the easy option. With the dunes now just a memory, the terrain starts to change. Fast, twisting, narrow tracks with trees, villages and wildlife, adding extra focus to the stage.